Happy Thanksgiving Eve, all. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Turkey Day is right around the corner. I don't know what it is, all. It's like I can't get away from enough. I love my dogs. Just love dogs. Just love it's like children. They see me get on Zoom and they're like, you know what? I am gonna start barking and I'm gonna start wrestling and I'm just gonna go at it over here. And it's like literally no joke. They come right over here when this computer screen comes on, just like Bryce Boy does. But good Thanksgiving Eve, all. Good Thanksgiving Eve. Put a 3 in the chat if you're traveling. Put a 3 in the chat if you're traveling. Put a 4 in the chat if you got like one of those like lineups where you got to do a double session, a double or triple session, meaning like you got to go to a couple family houses, you got to go to this side of the house, you got to go to this side of the house. How many of you, just so we can get a sense here, because Brittany and I were talking this morning, and she's like, Brock, do you think we can ask them about the Thanksgiving? I said, of course. We're gonna ask them where they're traveling, what they're doing, what they got going on. Latrice is here. Chad Free is here. I'm just getting excited looking at all these names on a Thanksgiving Eve, a holiday week. This week, all these next 2 weeks, just to let you know, it's called separation season. This is where you separate yourself from everybody else, from the pack, from your business, because you are going to still be showing up. Okay. I know kids are off school. I always find it fascinating when parents take the same schedule as kids, meaning like, oh, the kids are off, so I'm off. Like, well, unfortunately, I don't know about you, but like in the business world, it doesn't work that way. And I'm not frowning that you're taking time off because I know Jackie's traveling. Let's see who is traveling. Who is traveling? Do we have a couple travelers over here? Let's take a look to see who is traveling. I hope my internet goes is fine. So we got a couple people traveling. Okay, good. Well, let's get ourselves started this morning, everybody. My name is Coach Brock Van. I'm a life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And Brielle's furniture comes in today, so that's as close as I get to being a parent today. Don't have my kids during the Thanksgiving, but that's okay. I'm just blessed and thankful to have two healthy, beautiful children, and it's all about appreciating the things that we do have, right? That's what it's all about. So, shout out. I had a great conversation with Joe Sonona, who's one of our speakers for Nashville. We also have one of our amazing speakers. I'm going to be bringing her to the stage here in a moment, Brittany. But I was able to, I did a podcast yesterday and had just the most amazing, it was one of my better podcasts of just the interaction that we had. It was supposed to be a 30-minute podcast, and we talked for an hour and 15 minutes. And it I was having anxiety because of my schedule. I was just like, I only had this plan for 30 minutes and like, oh, but you know what? Sometimes the alignment that God has with the conversation. So shout out to Coach Sonona in setting us up because I'm speaking up in New York City beginning of January, right before we go to Nashville. How many of you are coming to Nashville? Put a 5 in the chat if you're coming to Nashville. Put a 6 in the chat if you're trying to figure it out. Put a 6 in the chat if you're trying to figure it out. Put a 5 in the chat that you're coming because I will do whatever. Paul, I didn't say maybe. I said a number. I said a number, Paul. He always got to add a little something different, doesn't he? So we got a couple 6s. All right. I got to call some people. Yeah, Joe, he was really good. I really enjoyed Ben. So our guest today, all, is a speaker at Nashville. For those of you who are trying to work on your marketing, for those of you, Jackie, lean in, Jackie, because I was helping Jackie, and guess what? All I'm probably the last person to help anybody in marketing. I just failed so many times at marketing that I was just like, hey, this is what I did wrong. So I try to help people with my flaws that I had in marketing. But Brittany is one of this. She has a talent. She has a gift into helping real estate agents and entrepreneurs all across the country on helping them market. Kind of like when you see the golden arches, you instantaneously what? At least my kids do. It's time to eat, Dad. I want the number 9 meal. I want something in reference to McDonald's. When we see the Remax, the balloons, we automatically think Remax. So like those type of branding, those type of marketing skills takes time and it takes accuracy. And there's actually a formula behind it, but it helps get exposure for real estate agents. Because I don't know about you, Bob, but calling for sale by owners and expires every single day is not very exciting, right, D? It's not one of those things that you like. Okay. When you see a motorcycle, I instantaneously think of Chad Free. So Chad Free might not even know this, but because he relates himself into motorcycle, I think Chad Free and I think money and I think of movement. So what is it that you have? And if you're kind of like, I'm not too sure, and you really need to lean in to Brittany today, we're gonna taste the ice cream, but you're really gonna want to be at this Nashville event, the Success Summit, to hear literally her breaking it down. She's one of our keynote speakers. I met her several years ago with Coach Burt. Her and I were working together with Coach Burt, and our job is we were working alongside of him. It was an amazing time period because we got to hear behind the scenes of a very successful coach, a multimillionaire, and to be able to hear his thought process, his mindset, and what he does. How many of you have heard Coach Burt or been around Coach Burt? Put an 8 in the chat if that was you in some capacity. Obviously he's part of my family tree in my coaching for what I've done. So we have several people. Sandy's here. I just saw Sandy's name pop up. She's another speaker too. We got all the speakers on here today. They're coming on to you, Brittany, for Thanksgiving Eve. So, guys, this person, I've known her for several years. We've been staying in touch with each other, and she was sharing with her story, and I was just like, hey, we got some room on the stage, and I love to have you because I know you can help real estate agents grow their business in 2026. So the main theme you're going to be hearing all is 6 for 26. And there's going to be 6 takeaways that you are going to get throughout the more than that, but really that's what our focus is on. And I guarantee you Brittney Hall is one of them. So guys, put some 5s in the chat because you know how I like to do the 5s. Put some hearts all over for those of you who know how to do those emojis. For some love for our girl Brittney Hall from Texas. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. Wow. Thank you for having me. That was quite the introduction. I'm
We
like,
just
wow, she sounds great.
who is this person? I
Who
can't
is
wait
this
to
that
meet
you're
her.
talking about? I know. Can she help me? Yeah,
Oh, well,
love
it
to be
is
here.
a pleasure to have you the day before Thanksgiving, taking time away from your family to be able to be here. And I know we have a lot of hungry ears here who want to learn about this key concept because we know content, we know social media, we know this present is so very important. And
Mhm.
you have a talent. I've been watching you do this. But before we can kind of get into some of that type of stuff, there's many of you that don't know who Brittany is. So, Brittany, could you give us like a 10,000-foot overview, a
Oh
little
my
cliff
goodness.
note resume about you?
Yeah. So, like Chad, I'm thinking about Chad. As Brock said, I'm in Texas. I'm natively from Oregon, though, and I have married. My husband is my business partner. We've worked together in a lot of different companies. We both have a lot of business experience. I grew up in business. My parents are entrepreneurs, and they have been successfully for over 40 years. So I got kind of like a firsthand view of what that really takes. I'm a big believer in having grit and a strong work ethic. And really, I love how Brock does his Figure It Out Fridays because I really believe like as long as you just don't give up and you're like, I'm going to freaking figure it out, that's how you succeed. And it's interesting. The marketing, like, where does that come into play? Because I went to school for biology. So I am not educated in this, but it goes back to like, I always figured it out. And really, when you get great at marketing, what happens is you find clients, right? You find customers, you create business, which generates revenue, which goes in your bank account. And I was always about building business and generating revenue. And Brock talked about Michael Burt in Nashville, and I did have the honor of working under him for a year. He gave me an opportunity because I was hungry, and I said I could do it, even though I maybe didn't have the experience that it took, but I figured it out. And I kind of made a name for myself with him and a reputation because I helped him create some new programs, market in his company. And he really let me just kind of take the wheel and experiment with some stuff. And that's really how I learned a lot about what I do now. was through the relationships that I created there and just all the skills that I learned. So it was an incredible opportunity. That was kind of a little bit all over the place, but maybe just enough to kind of give you a little bit of a detail of who I am.
No, I love it. And to be honest with you all guys, we're setting history today just to kind of just celebrate. This is the first time I think we've ever had two biology majors on the show at the same time. So Christina is also a biology major. I am not.
How
I got
funny.
my education in physical education. I was a PE teacher and a principal. So a lot of
Brock,
teachers
I
on
did
here.
not know that.
Yes, I taught
That's
school for
incredible.
12 years. 12 years I taught, but I
Wow.
just was really, I was Christina's like, I'm a biology major too. I'm like, wow, that's
That's
pretty impressive. I don't
hilarious.
think we've had that.
I have not
Uh,
made much money with my degree, but that's okay. My parents are proud. They wanted me to go.
Either did I. That's why I left the teaching world. Unfortunately, I did it for 12 years, and making $40,000 a year was not really going to cut it in today's society. I don't even know how they
Yeah.
do it, but
No.
so I I appreciate you giving us the 10,000-foot overview of who you are and what you've done. And one of the things I wanted to dive a little bit deeper on with you is, you know, you had to go through some transitions. I mean, we went to
Oh
school to
yeah.
be a biology teacher or biology degree, wherever it is that you were planning on doing. And as you know, I love the word when you said grit. And I was working with Jackie and Cody over, they were shadowing me and they're like, "Well, Brock, how do you do it? Like, what do you do?" And they wanted to see what they did every day, and I was like, honestly, it's grit and showing up every day and failing forward and
Yeah.
doing it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Walk us through one of those moments as we touch on a little bit about our Figured Out Friday, but where was like a defining moment for you that you had to do some soul searching to, you didn't wake up, you're like, I'm going to be a marketing guru and I'm just going to go to Coach Bert's door and knock on and be like, pick
Yeah.
me. Like, walk
Yeah.
us through a little bit about that. Like, there was a moment that you had that really changed for you.
Yeah, gosh, there's been a lot. Um,
Mm.
and I think that really like looking back at my journey of how I got where I am today is it's just been like these little stepping stones. And it always makes sense when we look back. We can go, oh, okay, I understand how that lined up. And like, thank goodness I had the faith really. And it doesn't mean necessarily faith in a religious sense, but just like in the plan and like, what is this? I'm following in the right path for myself. And so if you look back at my journey, it was like, oh, and I can see how all these like random jobs and things I had really were building the skills that I use today. And now I'm very, very confident that this is kind of like the thing that I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't ready for it like even 5 years ago. I was living in Oregon doing some random jobs and my husband was working all the time. And like that wasn't at all, like that wouldn't have made any sense. So all the little pivots are necessary. So I guess I would preface, telling you about this moment with always be open to the pivot and like where you're feeling called. I've always been a big like gut instinct kind of person and like, hey, well, if this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, then like shut it down. Like there'll be a sign, right? So I probably the biggest pivot was after I concluded my time working with Coach Burt, I was working with Ryan Stewman. If any of you guys know him, he's had a big brand in the personal development space. I was kind of scared of him, but I like wanted a job close to home because I didn't want to be flying all over the country every 2 weeks. But he was actually a really cool guy and a genius brain when it comes to marketing. But his office was just like 30 minutes from my house. And so I got a job with him, working under him. Him and my husband were running operations. But what I noticed there, and we're all friends, right? This all stays here, is that
Well,
the culture wasn't what I wanted to be a part of. Some people just loved it, but I was like, this is not for me. Like, I don't talk like this. This is not an alignment for who I am. And that was really tough because it was like I was getting paid really great. Like he was paying me an amazing salary for, especially for the amount of work that it really took. And he didn't bother me after hours, which, I wasn't super used to. And I was like, this is a really good deal on paper, but the alignment wasn't there. And I struggled with it for a little bit. And then finally, me and my husband were like, you know what? We really know that we need to go work for ourselves. And that's scary, especially when you have a monthly salary or you're getting paid every 2 weeks and you have two kids. My kids are 11 and 13, and they are in all the activities and all the sports and all the things. And that freaking costs money. Right. And so it's really scary to go, can we do this? Like, we're going to bet on us and we're going to start our own business. But I had enough confidence in myself and the skills, and I had some decent relationships. And I was like, and you guys, we didn't have much of like a savings account or anything. Like, we had a little bit of a cushion, but it was like, that's not going to last a long time. Right. So that took a ton of faith and a ton of, just grit stepping out and saying, okay, like, we're going to do it. And I went and I just started talking to people that I knew. Hey, this is what I'm doing now. Is there an opportunity? So that's like not, it's funny because that's not even from like the marketing side, but that's from like the business building side, right? Is like just going out and freaking talking to people. There is never a replacement for that. I don't care how good your social media is I will tell you all day long, like, how many freaking people are you talking to every day? And people took a chance on me. And I also had great friends who were like, hey, I know some people that might be interested in what you do. And they connected me. And that was a massive moment and turning point. And one of my clients who's been with me over a year now, which, we want people who do repeat business with us, right? And the way my business is set up, real estate's a little different. You're like, hey, call me in 3 years if you want to sell your house again. Like, I'm here. Don't forget about me. But, me, I'm like, hey, do you want to do business again this month? And he's been with me for 13 months now. Craig Siegel out of New York, who's an incredible mindset guy, if you guys are into all that. I asked him, I go, why'd you take a chance on me? Like, you were one of my first clients. And he goes, I had a great experience with you. So that's one thing I would say too. It's like a takeaway today. Make sure that people have a great experience with you when they come
Mm.
in contact with you, even if they're not your direct client. Maybe they're the aunt or the mom who's going to look with the person. Make sure people have a great experience with you. Like, that was huge. And I'll never forget it. And so I always want to leave people with that same feeling when I'm, working with them or talking with them.
Well, I've been diligently over here. I always like to like I take notes all on everything
Oh,
because
I
there's
love
so
it.
many things that you were saying in there, and I want to make sure I touch on these because maybe somebody was doing something. Um, like Jack's over there. Look at Jack. He's clean. He's getting ready for Thanksgiving. He's cooking over there down in Florida. Love you, Jack. What up, brother? Good morning to you. So you brought up, I want you guys just to kind of lean into this question I'm about to ask you. Okay. Be vulnerable if you're willing to be vulnerable right now. How many of you on here, okay, feel there's 45 of you on here. So we'll take a look at the numbers. How many of you feel that you might be or approaching or already in or past, and you should have made this decision before, but how many of you feel like you're in a pivoting moment in your business right now? Maybe it's not a career change, but maybe you're looking for a new coach. Maybe you're looking for a new firm. Maybe you're looking for like there's got to be something else that God's calling me to be here. How many of you put a P in the chat? Put a P in the chat if that is you, if you feel that you're embracing a pivoting moment in your life right now, just like Brittany did, is because what I liked about it, she embraced it. And I wrote down these words with confidence, with faith. And I'm going to be honest with you. I love your passion. Like you
Mhm.
just like when you start saying the word frickin', I just get fired up too. Cause I'm just like, I was like, you have to be, there's gotta be
Yeah.
a underlining. You gotta get pissed off. And I'm not saying like you gotta say the F word, but sometimes you gotta just say it to yourself to be like, how much longer am I gonna sit here before I want to make this pivot? How
Yeah.
much longer am I going to be dealing with this nonsense? Because majority of you that put the P's in here probably already know that you should have made a decision months ago, but you're
Yeah.
just sitting there and you just gotta get a little passion. And that's why I'm so excited to have you with us, Brittany, because I just love that passion that you have.
Yeah.
And the last word that I want to share with you that you said was alignment.
Mm. Yeah.
Is the alignment wasn't there because money, I'm telling you, look at celebrities, look at athletes, they've proven us that money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
You got to be aligned. you got to be aligned with that. And so I just really love those things that you were sharing. Those were some of the words that I took, and I also wrote down a great experience. People don't remember what you said to them all. They remember how you made them feel. If there's anything you take away from this, even at Thanksgiving, when you're talking to somebody you really don't like, somebody that just irks you, trust me, I got some of those too. Don't think they're like, I really have, I gotta say a prayer before I go in. I'm like, all right, just be calm. When they ask you these stupid, silly questions, just be like, be ready to go. So as I pivot into this, because we are running out of time, because I want everybody to go get their groceries in. I already did mine 6 o'clock this morning. I was at the grocery store. Who would have thought I met somebody at the grocery store at 6:03 in the morning, but I did. I had a great time, great conversation. But share with us a little bit, Brittany, for those that are leaning in, because we had some sixes here who are thinking about they just need
Mhm.
that little nudge to get to Nashville.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what is it that you're going to be helping our audience with, our real estate agents, the entrepreneurs there on your marketing and what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So, whew, yeah, well, I'm like, oh man, what am I going to be talking about? No, I'm just kidding. I'm one of those people who I'm like, I always have a great like the idea of it, and then like the day before, I'm like, oh, this is actually what I'm going to say, and then also like, God, what are you going to do when I'm up on that stage?
Right?
But I would first say that if and it's so funny, it's not like I'm getting a kickback on tickets here, but from my personal experience, I was in a business where in-person events were like a big piece of it. And even in like the private sector, if you have like a nudge to get to an event, freaking get there. Oh gosh, I just said freaking again. You guys, this is my toned down version. You never know what's gonna come out of this mouth. But that's really like that's your like instinctual, like I should be there, like you should be in that room. And I know for like my analytic people or the more like security minded type people that really want to plan everything out, you're like, but what am I going to get out of it? What's the guarantee? I'm going to spend this money and what am I going to get out of it? A lot of times you can't even measure it because you meet somebody that leads to something else, or you just have like an incredible conversation, or a speaker that you didn't even know. You didn't even know who they were. You weren't even paying attention to them on the flyer. They say something that you're like, that is just going to like change my whole life. So you can never, like, you're going to get something good, but you have to go and being open to what that is. Now, what I'm specifically going to talk about is I have a real knack for helping people build their personal brand. And you might go, well, but I'm a real estate agent. I'm not, I'm not an author or a speaker. Because usually when we think about personal brands, that's what we think of. Well, Brock's a great example of somebody who has done some really out of the box stuff and created a personal brand, which has created relationships with people that are attracted to him as a human, that creates trust and loyalty. And so when they go to do a real estate transaction or need a coach, or want to join a team because they're trying to like create more income in their life and they're interested in real estate, they're like, I trust that guy, like I've been following him for a while. And so I will definitely be talking about, really, how do you build a brand that people trust? Like, what does it actually take? What should you be doing? I'm big on the action steps because I believe there's a lot of theory out there that people talk about. My business is all about creating results. Like, that's what we do for everybody. I'm like, do not pay me if you're not getting results, because that's kind of stupid. Like, you should always be getting a return on your investment. So, yeah, I really just love to help pull the magic out of people and help them really understand why them as a human, what gives them an edge in the business and in marketing. And I think that people go, oh, well, I'm just, I do real estate. Okay, but what makes you great? What's going to give you an edge over all the other noise and competition out there? And I help people really learn how to like attract the right clients and how to engage with the right people. And I will be talking about all sorts of things like that.
I love it. I love it. Guys, we put a lot of information in the chat, so we balance the chats at the same token. So thanks to my phenomenal VA team on leaning in. So we put the links there for Brittany that are on there. We put the links for Nashville. We put the links for the hotel. So make sure you guys check those things out there. Your personal brand all is so very important. I didn't think it was. Okay. I'm just gonna let the cat out of the bag here, which some of you would be like, Brock, we already knew that. So I have an ego problem. Okay. When you have an ego problem, it runs in a line with being an addict and in the addiction field of where it is. And so being an alcoholic, I thought basically my shit didn't stink and I could do whatever I want because my name is Brock Zivan. Well, guess what, all? It doesn't work that way. And you have to earn it. And I'm a very big believer that you have to earn it I'm going to steal one of your words, Brittany, every freaking day. It is starting at zero every day, and you have to earn it. And so what I do, like literally, I walk down my stairs and I have shelves. They look very similar. If I can point, I can't point right here. They look very similar to my bookshelf that I have here, but it's on the other side of my wall. And I go to it and I touch it. That is my way of taking my ego because my ego doesn't leave me. It doesn't like I can't just remove it. But in my head, in my mindset, I put it on the shelf and I say, I need you to stay here today. I don't want to take you with me because I can learn from other people. I don't have it all together. And so your personal brand is something that I realize is very, very important. Just like the culture on the show, just like people who come on here, they are all aligned with us. Like I knew Brittany would be a perfect alignment with us for her faith, her badass mentality, and how she has the grit to be able to show up. Just like that is what we instill in all of you. And that is why the impact of the Real Estate Success Summit is so, so very important. And so when you said that to me, Brittany, about your personal brand, I really want you all to lean into what she says. When she's there in Nashville, go talk to her, have a conversation, because sometimes we don't know what the personal brand is and what the hell we're even trying to portray out there. And not knowing is just as bad as doing the wrong thing, if not worse. And so I really appreciate what you said there on the personal branding because it's something that we sometimes don't think about. But
Mhm.
more importantly, Brittany, you said something that was very, very key. And if somebody can write this in the chat, please do so. You said the word relationships. You said, oh, did I lose you? Am I still here? My
No, you're
internet?
good. You're good.
Good. You said the word relationships. And that is so, so very important right here, all in the relationships. And as we wind down, Brittany, what would be as we get into Thanksgiving and we get into family time and we get into gratitude calls? She told you to pick up your phone. I'll pick it up and do gratitude calls today. What would you leave today? What's the one thing, if you were to bundle it all together, what would you leave us with?
Ooh, um, gosh. I know. I was
She didn't
like,
even know I
oh,
was going to
you're
ask that
building it up.
question.
What are you gonna say, Brock? This is a really great time, as we have like a couple days that are, a little bit less busy than others, to really like reflect. That's what I would say is reflect on like how far you've come and like be grateful for all the things that it took for you to get where you're at. Even the hard stuff, because without the hard stuff, we wouldn't make change. And so I really believe in being grateful for the tough people in our life and for the tough stuff that we've had to go through because and all the great stuff too, right? Because we all have like wonderful things in our life. But sometimes I think we're so like, oh, let's just focus on all the happy stuff, which is great. But also when you can be grateful for the things that have really challenged you that you felt like were maybe going to break you at some point, that's really like incredible. And then going, man, I'm tough and I've got
Mm,
what it takes to like really build the life that I desire because none of us are ever finished. And so have a lot of gratitude for where you're going and get really clear. I would say this is the coach in me now coming out. Get really clear on what this next year, like what you're going to create. Um, that's like I would start like just being grateful and writing down that vision of what's to come.
I
So,
love it. I
yeah.
love it. Guys, put a 5 in the chat if you just love Brittany. You got something out of today. I think Christina was on here. She thought there was going to be somebody else, and she's like, "Damn, who's this Brittany girl? I'm glad I'm on here." So, your other biology
Yes,
major on
yes.
here.
They're like soul sisters.
Yeah. So, for those of you who put a 5 in the chat, one of the things we're also doing on the show because we want to perform better, we want to be able to help you all on here. If you want us to put you on an email drip, meaning a calendar, I shouldn't say email drip, a calendar. So that way you get notified each morning through a Google Calendar. Some of you don't like it, so that's why we're putting it as an option. If you do, put your email in the chat here. Put your email in the chat, and we will put you on my Google Calendar. So that way, just like I get notified each day, because I'm like, oh, damn, it's already time. Put your email in the chat, and we will then be able to get the Google Calendar. So that way you're linked and you'll get notified. So if you want to do that, put your email in the chat. If you don't want to do that, well, too bad. I don't care. No, I'm just joking. But anyways, it's gratitude. It's gratitude. So put your email in the chat if you like that. Brittany, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy
Thank you so much for
Thanksgiving.
getting up here early for us to be part of our show this morning.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Oh man, I don't have anything else on the calendar today." Brock, you're a special guy if I'm rolling out of bed and curling this hair 6:30 in the morning.
Well, we
Thank
got
you for
special
having
people
me.
on here. Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you so much.
Brittany. I look forward to seeing you here in a short period of time. Once we get done, everybody's putting their emails in here. For those of you, we do run the show an extra minute long, so you can go back, look at the chats, as well as we will have the links for the Nashville. If you're thinking about it, go get your ticket. If you already got your ticket, but don't have your hotel, we're going to put that link on the number of rooms. And I was surprised how many people from Nashville are getting a room because they want to keep partying with us. So they're getting rooms too. So I'm a little limited. So make sure you get your rooms and your hotels. God bless you all. We will. If I drink on a day that ends in Y, I will be here on any day that ends in Y. So Monday through Friday, I will be here tomorrow with our girl Justine on a Thanksgiving. So join us if you like at 8:15 tomorrow on Thanksgiving. For those of you who I do not see, God bless you and your families. Thank you all so very much. And my dogs want to say goodbye too as they're barking up a storm over here. Till then. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your family time. Gobble, gobble. See ya.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.